Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Deep Dive Haunts. Um, I am Brenda from the Paranormal Girls. This one's going to be a little bit different because um, the whole team didn't get to go to this investigation. So Tim was with me, and then you'll see Wes and his wife Nikki. We all went to Fairfield County Infirmary. I did not get the history pulled because I was busy talking to Wes and Nikki for the entire hour. So yay, Tim's having a little bit of difficulty with his sound, so hopefully he will get in soon. You guys can say hi though if you would like.
Hey everyone, Nick will be back out here in just a second.
Oh, okay, perfect, no worries. Um, anyway, what is some of the back history? Maybe I can look it up and just read it.
It sucks. I used to remember it, but I don't anymore.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it really quick. Tim's having issues anyways. So, um, well, maybe I'm under.
Yeah, and this spirit looks like
Is what?
I don't see him here at all. So I don't know if he disappeared or what.
Yeah, he went out. He'll be back. Don't worry. Sometimes he has issues. Why is why? Well, the uh, it was built in 1840 and was expanded in 1865. Been abandoned since 1980, or the infirmary was abandoned in 1985 and was reused for county offices until 2013. It did actually count as an infirmary or a poor farm, which was publicly funded. These structures housed paupers, the elderly, physically or mentally ill, who would have otherwise been homeless. Um, Welcome back, Tim.
Hey, Cam.
Yeah, he's still working on it. Um, the infirmary has a crow's nest up on the top of it. Where was it? The what was he? The ward?
Superintendent,
Go ahead.
the superintendent used to watch down everybody from there.
The superintendent would go up and watch from, and oh, the crow's nest had windows on all four sides, so he could see for a long ways away. Um, some of the claims that are there is a ghost named Willie. Um, Depending on what um, what group has been there, depends. Hello, everybody. Depends on what actually happens, because different things happen all the time to different people. Um, the one side housed women, the other side housed men. I do remember that. And there was also a jail cell on the second floor on the women's side, where they kept the ones that were unruly and uncontrollable, whether it was men or women. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
Nikki would have been there.
the what?
So Nikki would have been there.
Nikki would have been probably,
Her room.
probably. In 1828, Lancaster built a simple wood almshouse for a place for the poor, but then it actually grew bigger and it became what it is out there today. There is an attic area A couple of long rooms that house the really bad ones. They were chained to the walls. There are still a couple chains up there. You can see where the bolts were in the wall at the chain with the chains. Um, there is a doctor's office down on what's considered the basement, but it's technically the first floor from the front side of the building. There is a morgue down there that also served as their freezer stuff for their kitchen stuff, which is weird all on its own because during the winter months when it was super cold and they couldn't bury anybody, they had their frozen foods in the freezers and they would put the bodies in with the freezers. I don't know. That's like, I know that happens um, a lot of times in those cases because of that and the ground being so hard during the winter. Um, there's also a ghost story of Jane, who was once a resident and was burned alive after the gas stove caught her clothes on fire. So she's named to be running around out there. There's just a lot of different ones, and that I was just reading from doing a Google search, y'all, because like I said, I didn't do that. Tim, are you?
Yeah, fine.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, I can hear him.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to start getting on at 6:45 so you can have it fixed by 7.
I think I'm gonna start by 6.
That's okay because we were having issues with Wes and Nikki
Yeah,
too.
the volume won't come on. I don't know what goes on with this thing.
I don't know what goes on either, but anyway,
Okay.
us three were out there. Nikki, when Nikki comes back, oh, that's her hand right in front of the camera. Nikki was out there. Gage and so sorry, I'm blank on the last one.
Kayvon.
Kayvon, sorry, Kayvon. They were all out there with us. So we had a group of 6. We did some group investigatings of 6. We kind of broke off into different little things. So we will get into that. Do we want to? Where do we want to start? Do we want to start up top? Do we want to start off where we were all grouped together? Oh, and Cynthia, Tim's wife, was with us on that location as well.
Yep.
Where do we want to start at tonight, guys? Do we want to start off with the group parts that we did and what evidence we did catch in those parts and then break down into smaller groups?
Yeah. I mean, I think that would make sense.
Okay.
So in the beginning, we all took off, all 6 of us together, kind of doing a walkthrough. I had never been there before. Cynthia had never been there before. So it was a new location for us. So being able to go and do a walkthrough was really helpful. Being able to seeing the different things on the different levels and, who was housed where. The children were housed in the front. And so, again, what they consider the basement is actually the first floor from the front side. And when we were over, there's 2 rooms that are connected. And if I remember right, that is where they held like visitations and funerals, right? And that's why there's a casket in there today, was in those 2 areas, those 2 rooms together. And I think Tim had an issue walking through there. I know a couple other people, was it Gage? I don't know. You guys felt like when you walked through there was like that cobweb sensation.
Yeah.
And it was just on that one side of the room.
Yeah.
Was it you?
Yeah, it was. It was in
Yeah.
the room had the piano. With a piano, like a little music room in there. There was a casket in the corner in the back. Yeah, we felt like we were walking through cobweb, and we kept looking for cobwebs hanging from the ceiling and stuff. We couldn't find anything. It was actually kind of interesting because it actually felt like something was on your arm. And we kept looking for cobwebs, kept looking for spiders, kept looking for anything, and did not find it. That
And-
room was actually, I think funerals were held in that room.
Yeah.
Is why the
Yeah,
cat is in there.
it was like a parlor
Mhm.
area meeting, and then they held funerals in those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that is it's good evidence because just not one person felt it, like multiple people felt it,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody said anything about it until they had all experienced it. And then they actually went into then they were like, asking, like Tim immediately was asking, is there sorry, I'm checking YouTube to make sure the video is playing. But Tim was asking me if there was any cobwebs around. And then Nikki and those guys walked in, and then they experienced the same thing over on the same side of the room, but not necessarily in the same spot, like not identical spots, but in the same general area, which was actually pretty interesting.
Those rooms is actually when we went investigating one night. We took Malachi, our big
Mhm.
black pit bull, and he was so scared in that room. He ran all the way to the back of the building where we enter, and peed
Mhm.
all the way down the hallway. I mean, he was absolutely terrified that night.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Malachi was terrified.
Interesting. And
Chicken
then
turd.
what's that, Wes?
He's a chicken turd anyway.
Oh, he's a chicken turd anyway. That's funny. And then we had we sat over in the next room, kind of worked on doing an Estes method, seeing what we could have come up. I did an Estes method in that room. I felt something touch me. I felt something come in by me, even though I had a blindfold on, and it was still kind of light outside. It got darker, like I could feel it get darker over me. What else happened in that room? Did anybody else do an EVP or not an EVP, but Estes in that room, or was I the only one that did it at that point?
No, I think you were the only one at that point. But I think that's around the time that I went off by myself.
Well,
Mhm.
I think you and the boys and Tim took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, Wes, and Cynthia stayed behind, and you guys went out and ventured a little bit on the same
Yeah.
floor. But yeah, you guys ventured a little bit, and then we went to hello Pocono. I always want to say I'm Pocono, but I did it. Pocono Regional Paranormal. Hello. Thanks for joining. But anyway, threw me off guard. Squirrel, I have those moments. Y'all know me. But anyway, then yeah, we left. And after we left that area, where did we venture to?
Jail cell, maybe?
Yeah, that was up on the second floor.
I was gonna say, I know we went to the jail cell and we went up into the attic, in the attic part.
Well, we went down to where the morgue is down there, and I think we went in the chapel room, what they thought was a chapel in there, so on that floor. So
Um, since we're down there in that area, we'll just go ahead and start talking about some of that. Tim, Cynthia, I, and Kayvon went into the morgue area. When we first started to walk over that direction, Tim instantly saw a shadow, and it was kind of like darting back there.
yeah, Kayvon was with me. Yeah, Kayvon, it was back in the room, clear back in the morgue where the chiller, where the coolers are. They used to keep the dead bodies in the coolers back there in the corner. So yeah, we saw shadows back in there. Yes.
And then when we came back out, we were hearing like taps on the windows. We were hearing, there was other noises that were being heard. One point at the night later, we kind of decided to break off into smaller groups. Tim and I decided to go back downstairs in that area. So when you walk in the front of the building, there was like a waiting room or a check-in room to the right, and then behind that was like another waiting room, and then behind that was the doctor's office, and then there's a hallway. And when we had walked into the middle waiting room, when I walked through the doorway, static just went through me, and I was like, I call them the pricklies. I was like, oh, the pricklies. And on the app that was running, it said, sorry, didn't mean to scare you. And I'm like, you didn't scare me. I just wasn't expecting to walk through like energy when I walked through that doorway. We kind of went out and sat in the front room for a little bit. We went back and we sat in the doctor's office area. We were sitting on separate sides. We had cameras going different directions. I kept hearing what sounded like plastic being ripped off of a window out in the hallway, and it would get louder. And we were getting some other interactions in the room as well. But we got up to go out to see if we could tell where that noise was coming from. And as we're standing by the nurse's station, right outside the doctor's office room, Tim's standing in front of me, and all of a sudden, we hear something sound like it's clawing its way out of the walls. Like it was coming fast. It was coming hard. Tim thought a raccoon or something had gotten in and was like going to dart at us. I'll let him come in a little bit.
So we went around that corner. It was loud. I mean, it was really loud. I thought there was an animal that was coming down the hallway, crawling its way down the hallway. It was growling. It was scratching. It was clawing. And I stood there for a minute trying to figure out what it was, and I didn't see anything. And so after the noise ended, I decided we're going to go down the hallway and look for it. We went clear down that hallway, and every room there was, we checked every room with a flashlight, cameras, trying to figure out what this noise was. We couldn't find an animal. We couldn't find scat. We couldn't find anything in this building, but it was loud enough. It was startling what we heard. I mean, you literally prepared yourself for a live animal coming down this hallway about ready to attack you. That's what it sounded like. It was that loud. But we could not find any evidence of anything in those rooms down there, any evidence of an animal. We looked at dumbwaiter, we looked at everything and could not find anything in that building. And then later on, we were going through the rooms again, and we heard the same noise in a back room in the corner, and we checked it out again, and there was nothing in that building. I mean, we couldn't find it. If it was well hidden if it was an animal in there, but there was no windows broke out. There was no clawing. There was no holes in the wall. There was absolutely no reason for this noise that we could find to prove it was an animal of some type. But I wish I had the video. We're trying to find the video. I got a app that I'm trying to recover some videos that Brenda gave me, some cards. I think I found an app to do that. I can pull that back up and see if I can find it. So been working on doing that.
Right after that is when that thing rushed me in the doorway. And I do have that video. I'm looking at it on my phone right now. That is when, because right after that had happened to you guys, I had went off by myself. I was by myself. I was on the second floor where the gel is. And I go to walk in one of those rooms. I'd have to figure out which, because I believe that one's numbered. And as I was getting ready to walk through that threshold of that room, like something was thrown at me or something fell over in that room, and you can hear it in the video. It was so loud. I was so glad I was recording. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, that noise downstairs by the morgue scared us. It was startling how loud it was. It really
was so loud and so fast. Like the faster and closer it got, the louder it got. And I literally was backing up. Like,
Mhm.
I am looking at the stairs going, can I make it to the stairs before whatever that is gets to me? Because
Mhm.
it scared
Correct.
me. And then all of a sudden, yeah, like as fast as it started, it stopped. It was like boom,
Correct.
done. It was so crazy.
Yeah, been in that building 4 times. I've never heard that sound before. That
No,
was
never.
never have we heard that. Nope.
But if you
We've
get in there,
gotten a lot of we've gotten a lot of experiences out of that building, especially in the attic part, which we can talk about a little bit. And Nikki got quite a bit of stuff too going off on her own. A lot of things happened with her, and we saw things by the jail cell. So when we get to the second floor, it's going to get more interesting.
What was you gonna say, Wes?
I would say if Tim's been there 6, I mean, me and Nikki's been there like 8
I've been there 4 times.
or 4, so we've been there 6.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So
first time was probably with me and Nikki was probably to me it was the scariest because we were right there by ourselves, and we're walking down in the basement somewhere, and Nikki's like, "Hey, do you hear that? Do you hear that?" I'm like, "No, I don't hear nothing." Of course, I know I never do. But Nikki said, "I swear to God, it said you're mine or something like that." And she happened to shortly thereafter, she signed our night vision camera just down towards there towards the morgue area, the old nurses station.
Mhm.
And later on, we figured out that we captured something. And then on one of our recorders, we actually heard a voice say, "You're mine."
That's the one I sent to you,
Mhm.
Brenda.
That's a video, and that's the same place we heard that noise that Brenda and I heard. Same area.
Yep. And then later on that night, we were across, I think we set our recorder down by the jail cell. And then we went out, somewhere far away for a while. And later on, when we go back to that recording, you heard, "They're coming back. Hurry up." It wasn't us.
Mhm.
Then a little bit later on, we heard, what else? Do you remember that, honey? What else it said to us? It was telling, one spirit was telling another one to shut up.
No, it was shut the F up is what it was.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
All in that same area.
Yeah, yeah. I the whole play for me, the whole place is active, but I think that basement area or the first floor area around that nurses station,
Mm.
I think that's probably like
Yeah.
the big hot spot for sure.
Agreed.
Well, the second time we went was the first time we brought Tim.
It's room 317. I'm looking at the video now.
Yep.
So
Okay.
room 317 is where
Okay.
when I walked through that threshold, that thing came right at me.
Oh, so it was the floor above it. Okay.
Yeah, it was the third floor.
Wow.
So anyway, when we brought Tim, of course, here in Ohio, we had some really, really low temperatures. And even Tim was cold, and that's a shocker.
Yeah, it
It
was
was like
cold.
6 degrees,
Yes.
and they had like no heat in the building at all. They had a little bit in the bathroom.
Yep.
So we not only froze our butts off, but it was active as like almost as active as the first time with me and Nikki.
Mhm.
Tim was using his
SLS.
SLS, yeah, up in the basement, and it kept on getting this thing like crawling backwards on the wall.
Correct. It
I think,
was.
yeah, because Nikki was doing the SLS, I think, and you were doing the
Well,
what's that? Honey?
that was up on the 3rd floor. We were up on the 3rd floor where they chained people to the wall.
Yeah.
And I was doing the oh crap.
Dowsing rod.
Yeah, exactly. And it was crawling up the wall behind me.
Mhm.
We actually got cussed at that night by whatever was on the wall. But yeah, that was the second time.
Yeah, a whole lot of FUs on there.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
What else did you guys encounter on that visit when you were there?
We got we was in that men's side in that restroom Wes and I were, and we kept hearing voices and people walking outside and talking out in the hallway. I
Yeah,
actually
didn't we see a shadow too?
saw a shadow. Actually saw somebody walking from me, saw their legs move in front of me. We got the scream. You and I was in that bathroom, and it was a scream out there. And that one time we were there, the whole building, remember we got the scream through the whole building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
not
echoed,
one reporter picked it up.
yeah, echoed through the whole building. Yeah. So the place was been we had a lot of activity the first couple times we went there. We really did. Up in the attic, West and I was in the attic, sounded like somebody throwing furniture around the room and banging on the walls and knocking, and there was a lot of activity. That was, I think, the third time
Yeah.
we went. I think the second time I was there. So
Yeah, and that third time, as we were leaving, I was stuck in the, or I was the last one out because I was using the restroom. And when I stepped out, right by the area where you check in at, I'd seen that shadow,
mhm.
like looked like a little, almost looked like a child. It was really small. And then it kind of ducked down on his left.
Correct. Kind of followed you out the door. Yep.
There is
So
also a cemetery up the hill, which we didn't get out to. I wanted to, surprisingly enough, but we did not get out to the cemetery that night.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Tim, you better know why I'm laughing.
I know why you're laughing. Go
I
ahead.
was like, what?
And they're making fun of me.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good story. Let's hear it.
Oh my God. Okay. This is just ridiculous funny. So me and Gage go out one time we were there, and we're just, I just go out, I'm hitting my vape, and all of a sudden I see these green eyes over the hill. I'm standing there, going to where you go up the ramp to go through the door. He's just like, Mom, what the hell is that? And I was like, I don't know. Oh my God, what the hell is that? And we kept seeing these green eyes. They'd pop up over here, they'd pop up over there, and we're like, what the hell? They look like they're 12 foot tall. And me and Gage could not figure it out. Scared the shit out of us. No matter where we went, it seemed like they was jumping from 20 feet away in separate directions. We go get Tim, like, Tim, what the hell? Something's out here. What is this? 12-foot demons, Tim. Oh my God, they're 12-foot
Yeah.
demons out here, Tim. He goes out there. They're deer.
Yeah.
They were deer.
Yeah.
That sounds about like
hill.
something I would do.
Yeah, so that was a funny story.
So the cemetery is creepy.
Yeah,
The
we're
cemetery is
human deers.
Yeah, for real. I will say, at one point I was outside, and Tim's truck was front, like pulled in parking, and the other two vehicles were back end parking. So in the grass in front of the cars looked like headlights were on, shining in the grass. But the headlights on the truck was not on, and the other two cars, it would have been tail lights. And it was like that for a little while. I go inside, I come back out, and it's off. And I still don't even to this day even know what that was about. Because it like how when the headlights shine, they cast just like that circle, and that's what it looked like. But there was no lights on any vehicle on, and it was behind the buses. So even if it was, like Western Nikki's car, you wouldn't have seen it because the buses were in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. There was
And there's
nobody
no-
out there but
yeah.
us.
Yeah, there's no street behind there either. There's no way to reflect the light. So
Nope. It's a hill that goes up, and it was interesting. It was weird. let's let's go. I tell you what, when I go in that building, I get so confused. We walk down a hallway and I think we're on the women's side, but we're not. We're actually on the men's side. So I don't know if you guys get confused like that, but
Oh yeah.
walk out, and by the time we get back to the middle, I'm like, wait, what? Like I get disoriented. I'm like, wait, like were we on the men's side? Because I thought we were on the women's side. Like, I get totally turned around in there.
Gotcha. Well, the
That's
women's
like,
side. Go ahead, Wes.
So it depends on your staircases too, which one you use, which floor you end up on. It's crazy.
Right. Well, and we were using the big grand staircase, like all night. It was just, I don't know, it was just weird. Like every time I got back to the middle, I had to stop to look, and I'm like, wait, like we literally were down the men's side? Like, because I could have swore we were down the women's. Like it, and I'm not saying that's paranormal, but I have not been so off in a location besides that one.
I do know one of their one of the guys that Nikki and I first was our tour guide for like the first 20 minutes or so. We'd found out that he left because he had a really horrible experience up in the basement, or not in his basement. I'm sorry, attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, something throwing rocks and crap at him and something else. But I guess whatever happened, he refuses to step foot back in that building. Period.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes that's it. You just, everybody has a breaking point. You just gotta, sometimes you hit that breaking point. Like I've never once wanted to run out of an investigation, but I sure did there because Tim turned around and saw me moving, and he was like, "Oh crap!" Yeah. But then, like for a split second, I was like, "How far am I away from those stairs?" Because I'm running. And he goes, "We're going to stop and we're going to see what this is." And I'm like, okay, I got to buckle it up. I got to be a big girl now. And I stayed and, I'm glad I did, but yeah. But anyway, okay. So we all went in the jail, like we all kind of broke off a little bit. And then we all met up and we met back in the jail cell. And we were all in there together, and it was a lot of people for that room. There was people on the floor and in every chair possible. But we were sitting in there, and Tim did an Estes, and I think 3 of us were running spirit box sessions. I know I was, and I think Nikki was too.
I was.
Yeah.
Nikki also had a recorder going too.
Yeah, I usually have my AVP recorder going, and Tim was doing his Estes, and towards the end of it, we heard a female voice. And is she still there? Is she beside you?
Yeah,
she stepped out a minute.
No, I don't remember what they said, but like it was a female voice, and Nikki and I both heard it. We're each sitting on each side of Tim, and we both heard it clear as day. I actually thought it was Tim. And she was like, no, she's like, that was like right here by me. That wasn't Tim. And we asked him when he got done with Estes if it was him, and he was like, no, I did not say that. So we actually,
I remember that.
Yeah. And I think it's actually on my recorder. I'm sure she got it too, but I think it's on mine.
Yeah, it is.
When she comes back, maybe we'll ask her. Maybe she'll remember what it is.
Oh, here she is, right here.
Tell what you saw.
Right here. Oh, well, I'm Gage Geese.
Okay.
I was at Fairfield with Tim, my mother, and my stepdad Wesley.
Yeah, brother.
And when we were in the jail room, there was like this shadow figure my mom saw peeking around the corner. And I'm looking down there because I didn't see it at first, and we saw it come out from around the corner and like get down, start crawling, and then like rolled off down the hallway. And we went and chased it down there, and there was nothing there. What else was pretty creepy is whenever we were doing the deprivation, I heard my name being called, and it said like, Gage, you're gonna die. And I freaked out after someone had touched me.
Yeah, that was in the attic.
Yeah, that was in the attic. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that was in the attic. Sorry.
Yep.
yeah, no, that's okay. Yep, that was in the attic.
Come on.
Sure was. Yeah, we'll get more onto that creeper scenario here in just a second. But yeah, that pulled us out of the room
Yeah.
by far. Like that pulled everybody out of the jail cell and sent us on a mission. But Nikki, when we heard the female, what do you remember what she said
In
Um,
in the jail cell.
in the jail cell? Because remember I said I thought it was Tim, and you're like, no, because it
Yeah.
was right by my ear.
oh my gosh, I don't remember.
I don't know if it was a word or if it was a moan or something, but I thought it
No, I
came.
feel like it was a word. I can't remember. So much stuff has happened there. I mean, I honest to God, I can't remember. Yeah, because it was just you and I in there, wasn't it?
No, we were all in there, but you
Oh,
and
is
I
that when
were,
you're talking about when all of us were in there?
yeah, you and I were on each side of Tim, and we both heard it because you're like, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, because we heard it right outside of the door, right? That time?
No,
See,
before.
I'm thinking of a different time then.
No, it was the same. It was the same, but that voice was in between you and Tim because I thought it was Tim, and you said no, it was closer to my ear, but I heard it at the same time you did. And then you heard something out the door, and then that's when you went out and seen the shadow.
Mhm.
Shadow. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what was being said. I mean, so much has happened. Honest to God, it's almost like trying to piece everything together. We've been there so many times, and stuff happened so similar in all those different areas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Can you? Because Gage, you were in there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember a little bit about it vaguely, but I was going to mention something else. Do you remember whenever I brought the Bible the last time we went, just me, you, and Leslie,
Yeah.
and there was no activity?
Yeah. He brought a Bible the last time we went, and there was no activity at all. We thought that was super bizarre.
And then I come back, and then
Yeah.
I come back, and whatever was taunting me or something, and we saw the shadow figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But hold on.
interesting.
I'm gonna unplug that now.
So no, that's okay. I for whatever it was. I know I'm pretty sure it's on my EVPs. So I'm pretty sure if I caught it, to whoever was recording caught it because it was pretty loud. So yeah, we'd venture out in the hallway to see if we could experience this shadow. The end of the hallway was dark. I remember that, and then it was kind of lightening up a little bit. What do you, Wes or Tim? What do you guys remember being out in that hallway after the initial shadow figure?
I don't remember really anything happening or
Mhm.
seeing anything either. Like it just disappeared.
Correct. Yep. We didn't see anything. We were out in the hallway. We all went out there.
I
And
know,
we didn't see anything.
yeah,
We
and I
took
know
pictures.
Go ahead.
So we took pictures. I know I took some night vision shots and nothing.
I know we went down the hallway and we went to the left because that was the direction they said that it went. And I stopped, and in every room I took 3 pictures because that's what you do. You take 3 pictures, you might get something. And in the is there 4 rooms back there? I think there's 4 rooms down that little hallway.
I think there is too.
Yeah.
The very first room I took pictures in, the first picture was normal. The second picture had like a white blur across the carpet, and then the third picture was normal. I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
Mhm.
But out of the 4 rooms, that was the only one. Actually, that was the only room in the entire place that I took pictures where anything actually showed up, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that picture's interesting.
Yeah. So it It is, to say the least. And it's not like a small. It's not like a small straight. It's wide and it's long. Like it was moving. It's kind of what it looks like, is like it was moving towards the door, like it was trying to escape or something. We also went down into the kids' room on the second floor. What else? What did we experience in there, Tim? Or Wes? Wes came in there at one point.
Down in the kids' room.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the dolls are. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun room to be in. We did an SLS in there trying to find something. It seems like there was a doll on the window, and the owner of the building brought that doll from another place. Yeah, maybe if it's
Madison, I think.
Indiana State or where. Was it Madison they brought it from?
Probably Madison.
Yeah. Madison Seminary. Yeah, that doll was in there. We were getting activity on the SLS around that doll as far as that goes. I don't remember if we got anything else in that room or not.
I don't think we did. Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Now, something I got reminded of, though, is one of our prior investigations. We were up in the attic, and Tim was doing the deprivation, and he come up and asked Nikki, "Did you grab my leg?"
Yeah. Yes,
Something scared the crap out. Something grabbed his leg and scared the crap out of him, and it wasn't Nikki.
Yeah, there was something
Or me.
something rubbed my leg. Actually, like grabbed a hold above my foot and was just rubbing its arm back and forth on my legs before I started.
What about when we were in the attic and we saw that black thing? Remember, Tim?
Clear back in the other room with a
Yes,
bed.
it was a snake, like almost like what we saw at Beliska that one time. Different but similar.
Correct. That was a shadow in there. Exactly. Yep. The attic is a very active place. It really is.
That is no lie. We have SLS proof of something standing not too far from us. How far was that column? About 10, 15 feet?
Yep. About there.
Away from us. And it just like stood there and stood there and stood there and stood there for the longest time. I have little videos that I have posted that out on, and yeah. I'm trying to think, so go ahead.
I wonder,
go ahead, Buzz.
So I wonder if Nikki played that Your Mind EVP on her phone, close enough to my phone, if you guys would be able to hear it, and the audience, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
It's super, like, I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No, probably not. But I sent it to Brenda, so then that way she can kind of add it in on another one.
Yeah, well, I know the video that you and Wes got down there in the morgue by the nurse's station of the figure standing by the stairs.
I sent that to Brenda too, the picture and the video of it.
Yeah. That is quite the video. It really is.
I tell you what, when I seen that the first time, I was like, there ain't no way.
And then
no way.
And we hear all the voices. We hear "Get Out." We hear "Your Mind," the growling running down the hallway, the shadows back in the corner. Then you have this video, which is big evidence that morgue is active. It really is active down there. When you think of the history of that place over the years, from 1840 till today. I mean, the poor farm, the sick people living there, the separation of men and women on each side of the building. No, you couldn't cross over without getting put in a jail cell. The mentally insane chained upstairs to the walls. And then people trying to be in that building at the same time with the mentally insane acting and screaming all day long on half the night. There has to be
children chained to the walls.
Correct. There has to be a lot of residual energy in that building because it's just crazy. I mean, if you were traveling through Ohio and you needed somewhere to stay, you went and stayed there. You ran out of money. You stayed there to keep working to have room and board. You were you were a victim of the business that was there. You look up the history. There's a website you can look up on here, and it talks a lot about that building and what happened there. Um, so if you look up the Farland Legacy and look up the infirmary, it'll tell you the whole entire history of the building from start to finish and when it ended. It was actually office spaces until 2013, believe it or not. And the mentally insane were there during that time. And it also talks about when it closed down in 2013, there were still 13 or 16 people in that building. They either had to go find their own way or they got sent to another mental institution in 1985. So this history, it talks about it quite a bit about Fairfield Infirmary and what happened there. So look it up on the Farland Legacy and you'll find it. So
Good info. Good info.
Nikki, anything else to add? Or we're forgetting?
Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff we're forgetting.
well, I remember Nikki, you went on your own through the building. You couldn't go through doorways, or you getting pushed back out of doorways, or you heard sounds in rooms that were keeping you from going in a doorway.
Yeah, I sent that video to her too. Yep.
Okay.
That was room 317. Right when I tried to walk through that threshold, something came, I mean, just hurling at me, and you can hear it in the video.
Good.
So we had went down, all of us went down into that chapel area, right? And Tim decided that he was going to do another Estes method, and he goes, ask about the black shadow figure that we have been talking about throughout the night. So we were trying, and every time we would ask, or like I would ask, who is it? Are they like a bad spirit? Anything like that? The replies that Tim would give were like, shh, don't talk about that. Don't go there. Like whatever it was, didn't want to give any information as to what it is. I don't know if it was the actual entity itself going, no, hello, Myra, or if it was other spirits going, no, because, they didn't want to like, kind of like, don't acknowledge it type thing. But every time we asked, whether it was me or Wes or anybody asked any questions, we got shut down like every single time.
Immediately.
Yeah, like immediately. It was like, don't, or no, or stop, or whatever. I mean, we just kept getting shut down. And I was like, no, we want to know, what is that? What is it? Is it a bad entity? Whatever. And we never did get anything. We just kept getting shut down the entire time. Nikki did venture off. She's like, okay, like I'm done with this little thing right here. I'm going to go venture. So she went and ventured, and she was one floor above us. And all of a sudden she let out a scream. And I don't know if that's when she heard, like,
It was that's when that thing came at me.
yeah,
Scared the hell out of me, seriously.
That would have been on the second floor, because it was just like one floor above us. But yeah, she said it sounded, like the old sweatsuits. They go, that's what it sounded like. And when I was talking about down in the basement, I said it sounded like plastic being ripped off. And she goes, yeah. She goes, that's just about the same sound. So that sound was actually heard throughout the building multiple times, throughout the night as well. What else do you guys got?
Well, I remember when it just me and Wes and Nikki went there for the first time. We were in that same room, that chapel room, trying to come out, and Wes and I stepped out in the hallway, and we actually heard something run on the floor above us all the way down the length of the hallway. We heard the footsteps above us on the floor above us. Took off running.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was loud. I mean, it was something running across the floor. from end to end of the building. It was that loud. So we got a lot of activity in there. I mean, the first few times we went, there was a lot of activity. There's a lot of stuff happened. It was really an active building. 15,000 square feet. That's huge. We did go up in the cemetery though. We did wander up to the cemetery and wandered in there one night trying to find something. Deer
catch
mainly,
any-
but
I say, did you catch anything up there?
not that I remember.
Okay.
12-foot demon deer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the 12-foot
deer.
demon deer.
Demon deer.
Um, that's so funny.
It's like over 100 people buried over there. And they're buried like
Well,
this.
There is
Yeah,
12.
Yeah,
According to this history I got in front of me, there's 1,200 people buried in that cemetery.
Yeah, and they're buried like that.
Yeah, correct.
So take up less room.
correct.
So they're buried like head to
Standing up
toe.
pretty much.
And yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I looked that up. So,
oh,
yeah,
Down in the morgue also is where they would that
Clean dead bodies, the
Yeah,
same
they
place they
clean it.
wash their food.
yeah, exactly.
exactly. And then they stored them in the cooler with their food.
Yep.
yeah.
According to this history that I looked up, the city actually used that morgue as well. Not only did Fairfield Infirmary, but the city actually used that morgue.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the history part of it. It shows it in there.
Let me tell you guys something. This morgue is not really a morgue. It's like a closet with a bed on it. And then the room outside of it is a kind of a long, narrow room with the two freezers. And then you have a trough type sink, like where they rinse their vegetables and
And bodies.
And body.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Yep.
And for the residents or the inmates, as they're always called, that live there, that honestly didn't know that stuff was actually going on. Like,
No.
could you have imagined the chaos that would have sparked
Yeah.
around everybody if
Correct.
they would have known exactly what was happening at that point?
Yeah, but I don't think they dared say anything to the superintendent there. But he'd
correct.
have used the heck out of them.
Yeah, the overseer.
Yeah.
And to talk a little bit about the jail cell, if you messed up in Fairfield Infirmary, they put you in a jail cell, and it was over on the women's side. It's clear on the end. You might have seen other videos, the door opening and closing, some of the paranormal investigators being there. So if you messed up, they put you in there for like 24 hours. But think about this. They put the men and women in there, and the children were separated in the front of the building. So they locked everybody. There could have been up to 30 people in that room at one time, locked up all together in one room. And it's a room like a bedroom. It's one single room with a door on it. It's iron. So
No bathroom facilities, no nothing.
nothing. So just imagine what it was like if you were locked up in that room.
And then if they couldn't contain you after that, is when you got sent upstairs into the
Okay.
attic,
Yeah, chained to the wall.
chained to the wall, or you were just locked up in the attic in this big open room with nothing.
Correct.
The heat of the summer day.
Correct.
Yeah. There's often encounters of running across that floor too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ugh.
We saw white mist. We heard footsteps. We heard talking. We've heard a lot of activity in that building, a lot in the past. So
Well,
we got
Tim,
to- go ahead.
that second time you were there with us, you and I were out looking, just you and I were out looking for a place for the camera. And up on we were looking at one of the upstairs doors or something, and you kept on seeing a shadow. Remember that?
Correct. I was up there on that second floor. That's where we were. And then, like Nikki talked about, on that third floor, we saw that black shadow clear back in where those beds are. There's just empty beds back there in that room. But
Yeah, that was the same night.
Yep.
then when we left, I seen that small shadow too. So it pretty
Correct.
active that night too.
Correct. That rubbed on the leg. Yeah,
Yep.
I got touching that building. I got shoved once putting up a camera down there by that jail cell. Something run behind me and shoved me. So yeah.
And that
I-
scream.
Yeah.
And didn't something shake like the ceiling like
Yes.
really hard like during the scream, I think, or right before, right
Yeah.
after.
Yep. Yep. We were up on the third floor and everybody was on the downstairs and we all heard the scream to the entire building. And Wes and I heard that noise in the bathroom like a small scream too. I got that on video or on a digital recorder as well. So
Yeah.
sure
I
enough.
will I will definitely say when you go visit, breaking down into smaller groups does help because it seems like the interaction or the activity will spike with a smaller group, like 2 or 3 people versus like 7 or 8 people.
Mhm.
So you guys might want to keep that in mind. Like you can go to different floors, but
Yeah.
definitely because in the beginning, like we were together and like some things were happening, but it wasn't a lot. And he's like, let's just kind of break off and go down here and do this. And we did. And holy bejeebers, all that happened.
Mhm.
But so if you really want to truly be able to get interactions, I think going in the smaller groups is a better way to go. Nikki and Wes have been there several times, just them two or them two and their kids or whatever with interactions, just the smaller groups. I don't know if they feel overwhelmed with a bunch at one time, or if they just feel more powerful maybe if it's only a group of 2 instead of trying to scare like a group of 7. I don't know.
Well, me and Wesley went one time just by ourselves, just him and I, and we had nothing happen the entire night. Nothing. But I think a lot of people, if I remember the calendar, like a lot of people had been there for like 2 weeks right in a row every single night. And I mean, that night, we just couldn't believe it. We didn't get nothing that particular evening.
And some
Yeah, boredom.
and that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's times where you don't get.
Like I used to say, and I've heard, just because you throw a ghost a party, don't mean they're going to show up.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
So if anybody ever gets on and they talk about a location, they're like, oh, it's not that active and, like don't waste your money or whatever. Do with that what you will. But for us, we like to go and experience it once. And then if it's like that, it's like, okay, we know and we won't go back. But sometimes, even if you go the first time, you may not catch anything, but you go back a second time and then
good.
stuff is totally different. Like the first time, the
Velisca.
first time I met
Velisca.
Nikki and
Yeah.
Wes, we went to Velisca. It was insane activity. It was stupid crazy. It was my first location investigation ever. And then we went back like a year later for a second time, and the vibe had totally changed. Like it happens. So every location is like that, and every location is different. So even if you've been there one time and you didn't really get much, don't really count it out. Go back and try again.
Well, I think there's only one place that I won't go back to, and that's just because it was just not what's meant supposed to be.
Oh, what's that?
Tim, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh, is that what you're going to talk about with your book on Saturday?
No,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
no, but I'd love to go back there, but can't. That
Yeah.
place I'm talking about Saturday is the worst place I've ever been in my life. And Tim agrees.
You ain't wrong about that.
No, but the place I won't go back because there wasn't just nothing. Bobby Mackey's.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
That was the worst experience ever.
It was.
That was
Bobby Mackey's is
horrible.
no longer standing anyway, folks. So
Yeah.
that
That
is what it is.
That was a waste of time.
No longer standing.
Yeah, they tore it down.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
Bobby Mackey's is gone. They tore it down.
Yep.
Dang, I didn't even hear about that at all.
Yeah.
Yep, it's gone. Yeah, it just got too bad.
All the time we were here,
Too
raining.
bad a shape. And so it was like condemned and torn down.
Yeah.
You can go get it. You can go get a brick though.
No.
Yeah, it's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, it was.
So
I do recommend not going to Fairfield Infirmary in February with 9 inches of snow on the ground and 11 degrees outside. I suggest not doing that.
A
No,
lot
that's
of you
just
guys-
cold.
yeah, a lot of you guys know from going out and investigating places. If there's no heat, it's cold. If it's hot outside, it's hot. Like, so yeah. So, all right. Anything else on Fairfield Infirmary?
Oh, I agree with Nikki. There's so much stuff. We've been there so many times and so many things have happened. It's hard to remember it all as far as that goes. But
Yeah.
Wade, the first 2 or 3 times we went there was a lot of activity, a lot. I mean, it truly was. So I believe the place is still haunted. Ask this message, you'll find out about the maintenance guy that chases kids. Nikki was getting that on an Estes method in that room with the beds in it. I remember.
I think it would be interesting to go back there with the dead bell.
Yeah, dead bells
I
work
didn't
well.
have the dead bell when we were out there
Yeah,
because I got the dead bell
That's cool.
later. And Tim and I both have dead bells. So, set those up in 2 different areas. Yeah.
And they
then
work.
the rim domes and stuff. Yeah, it'll
They
be
do
good.
work. So the next time we get together, I may have a couple new pieces of equipment to mess with. So we'll see. You got a plan.
Yeah, we're talking about going to was it Melbourne?
Malvern Manor.
Yeah, trying to set something like that up. Even Nikki's ready to go somewhere.
You'll be ready for Malvern Manor. That's an awesome place to go investigate. Yeah, that's worth it. It's only 30 miles from Ballisca, so
Yep, it's not very far.
Good. It means we can still stay the night in winter set.
Yep.
You can stay at Malvern.
You can sleep at Malvern Manor if you want.
Damn.
Yeah,
Did you guys sleep there?
we
They
did.
have couches,
Yeah.
but they're like oversized couches that you can sleep on.
Yeah, you can stay there till like 10 o'clock in the morning, I think. Something like that.
Noon. Check out to noon, I think.
The noon, yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 p.m. to noon.
Correct.
Holy crap, man.
So,
Yep.
all right. Well, that wraps up episode 7. Next week, Tim will be back. Scott from Ghostlight Paranormal and Roger from Potter Paranormal Project will be in on that podcast as we talk about Ashmore Estates. That was the next stop on our list. So we are going to do that. Podcast this week. It's a busy week for Brenda. Wednesday night is Pocono Regional Paranormal. And then Saturday, Wes will be back. We are going to talk to him about his brand new book.
Wesley.
Wesley Fox.
Thank you.
Sorry, Wesley Fox will be back Saturday night. Talk about his brand new book, The Hotel Hell.
Hotel Hell. The worst investigation that me and Tim has ever been a part of.
You ain't wrong.
Yep. If you don't mind, I'll bring Tim back on. You can do most of the talking, whatever. I know you mentioned somebody else too.
Possibly another friend of ours that introduced me to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
So
get her story out.
we'll do that. He's been on a few episodes of the show A Haunting. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the other books that he has written and that stuff. So you guys will want to tune in for that. Both of those podcasts, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Otherwise, we will be back with Deep Dive Haunts episode 8 next Sunday night at 7. Thanks, guys, for joining. Until then, bye.
Bye.
No, hold on. Don't leave yet. Hold on.